Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can apply style transfer effect to a live camera preview in React Native's new architecture for Android using CameraX Media 3 effect as well as TensorFlow Lite RT. So let's get started. Now first, what I mean by style transfer effect, it's basically like applying style of a particular image to the live camera preview. So I'll just show you one image. I will talk about the code later on. Also I will be writing native code for this because this particular functionality is not available via any third-party library. So inside the assets folder over here you can see I have taken two images. You can just take one image. I will be just using one of these images to apply style transfer effect. Okay, so I'll just show you guys the output so things would be more clearer for you. So here you can see it is asking me for camera permission. I'll just give the camera permission over here. Then it does take a bit of time, but here you can see the style transfer effect has been applied. So I am using I'll just put down the video for a second. I'm using this particular image to apply the style transfer effect to our live camera preview. Here you can see I'm able to move the camera as well. So hopefully you got the point, and if you want I can just click on this capture button over here, which will capture the image for me and it will display it inside an image view. So yeah, that's what this video is all about. So let's get started. So what you need to do is first again, if you want you can have to use this oil.png as well. Like I have generated this image with the help of ChatGPT Sora. So you can use any AI tool, or if you have a ready-made image you can use that as well. We'll talk more about it later on. So first you need to create a React Native project by running this particular command over here. Now we don't need to install CocoaPods, that's why this install pods false is fine for us because this is an Android only tutorial, and instead of demo you can write your own project name, whatever you feel is right for your application. Okay, now here in this particular example they have given us the example of WebView component, but instead of WebView I'm renaming it as my camera because WebView does not make sense in our case. So don't run this command yet, we'll just create all this manually. So first what you need to do is you need inside your React Native project, once it is created you just need to create a folder called specs. So here you can see I have created a folder called specs. Next, inside that you need to create a file called my camera native component.ts. Now this name my camera is very important. Whatever, you can use some different name as well, but remember this name because this name will be used in lot other places as well. And native component is mandatory because otherwise React Native will not able to find your file. Now this particular piece of code I have just copied it from the documentation. So if you see over here, now I have changed a couple of things. So I have changed the type to result of type string, and I have removed this particular prop as well, so we don't require any prop. Here we just have this on image taken event. So here you can see we are just passing this my camera image taken event over here, and here instead of WebView I have renamed it to my camera. Okay, same thing over here as well and over here as well. So yeah, that's it. Next what we need to do is we need to copy paste this code inside our package.json. Okay, so for now let me just quickly cd to my React Native project. So this is my React Native project. Okay, I'll clear everything out, and here you can see inside package.json I have again copy pasted the code, but again instead of WebView you have to write my camera over here as well as over here. Once you have done that you just need to do npm install, so this will install the dependencies for you. Once that is done, if you just scroll down here you can see for the Android section we need to run this command, so this will do code generation for us. So I'll just run this command, so this will automatically do code generation for us. Once so I have already ran this command previously, that's why it was pretty quick for me, but in your case it might take a bit of time, so be patient. Once the command is successful you need to go to the Android folder, go to app. First you need to go to build.gradle, and here you need to add few dependencies. So first one is camera core, next camera 2, camera lifecycle, camera view. Then this media 3 effect is still in alpha at the time of me recording this video, but if it does become stable by the time you guys are watching the video, make sure you use the stable version. Then here we have this media 3 effect library as well. Then this Lite RT support API, and this Lite RT GPU as well as this Lite RT API. Okay, so Lite RT is basically new name for TensorFlow Lite. Then go to src, go to main, and here inside main you need to create a folder called assets. Inside assets you have to drag and drop your image. You can't drag and drop your image inside the root of your React Native project. This needs to be present inside the assets folder. So here you can just drag and drop whatever image you feel like. I have just tried with these two images, but you can use whatever image you feel like. And the rest of this TensorFlow Lite models, I have downloaded it from a repo called Socialite. So what I'll do is I'll just put a comment, like a pinned comment, from where you can download the TensorFlow Lite models. In case I forget, do let me know in the comments, because I do forget these things. Then go to Android manifest.xml, and here you need to add internet permission, uses feature of Android hardware camera permission, as well as write external storage permission. Then you need to go to Java com, and inside com you need to create a folder called my camera. Now this name needs to be matched with the name of our TypeScript file of my camera. That's why I've named it as my camera. Now first, here if you see the documentation, they tell us about this React web view, right? So in our case it would be react mycamera.kt. Now we can't really copy paste code from that particular file, because this is the actual implementation, which will differ completely. So first you need to write out your package name. Okay, now these are all the imports. I'll simply scroll through these imports. Feel free to pause the video and just copy all these imports. Nothing really here to explain about the import. Then we extend from frame layout as well as lifecycle owner. Here we get hold of our current context. Then we get our camera, preview view, image capture. We initialize our capture button. This viewfinder is basic camera preview view. Here is our camera executor service, and here is our camera provider as well. Then we get the back facing lens. Then here we get hold of our current activity. Then we set the layout params for our viewfinder. Then here we call this method, we'll talk about this more later on. Then we add the viewfinder to our parent view. Then we set the text background color, text color, as well as alpha for our capture button. Then we set the layout params for our capture button as well. Then we add the capture button to our parent view. Then we add a click listener for our button. Then inside on attached to window, if we have the camera permissions, then we just do viewfinder.post setup camera. And on detach from window, we just shut down our camera executor as well as unbind our camera provider. Now coming back to this particular method over here, we basically call this method because this is a hack which we need to do. If you don't do this hack, you will just see a black screen. You will not see your live camera preview. To learn more about that particular issue, you can go to this particular URL over here. Then inside setup camera, first we get hold of our camera provider feature. We add a listener. Then we get our camera provider. We bind our camera use case. Then we get the viewfinder width. We get viewfinder height as well. Then we get viewfinder rotation. Then we get our camera provider as well. Then here we initialize our camera selector. Here is our aspect ratio strategy. Here is our resolution selector as well. Then we initialize the preview view. Then we initialize the image capture as well. Then we initialize our media 3 effect. Then here we do media 3 effect.set effects. So here we pass this byte buffer GL effect. So here I'll come back to the style transfer effect later on. This is a separate Kotlin file which we need to create. And here please be very careful. You need to pass your own image name over here. Then here we do use case group.builder, add preview use case as well as image capture and media 3 effect. We unbind our camera provider. We bind it to the lifecycle over here. And then we finally set the surface provider. Then here we call take photo, where we get hold of our image capture. This is the simple date format which is used for file naming. Then we do content values.apply by setting the display name, MIME type, and if Android version greater than P, we also set the relative path. Then here we do image capture.output file options. Then we do image capture.take picture, and here we override on error as well as on image saved. And once we get the URI of the image, we send it back to React Native side with the help of this method. Now even this one is a bit complicated. I'll come back to that later on. Then we unbind our camera provider. Here we just have a method to check whether we have the required camera permission. And then here we have companion objects for tag as well as file name format. Now here as you can see, we have these two methods, emit on image taken as well as on image taken event. Now this I have copied it from documentation. This you need to do to send data back to React Native side, as you can see over here, but I have changed it according to our use case. So here we don't have on script loaded, we have on image taken. So that's what I have done everywhere else as well. Okay, then coming back to this style transfer effect, again this is pertaining to our use case. So if you saw here, we have written the style transfer effect, right? So this is this particular file. Now this I have copy pasted it from the GitHub repository. So I'll simply scroll through this file. Even I don't really understand it, but this is the code which is required. So I'll simply scroll through this. Also, one more thing which I want to show you in this particular code. So suppose you don't want to apply that particular effect to the entire screen, right? If you only want to suppose apply it to the first half of the screen, then maybe you can use this. Okay, we are dividing the width by 2, so you can just comment out this particular part. So it's up to you what you want to do, but here we are applying it to the entire width and height of the screen. Then coming back to this React My Camera Manager.kt, now again this I have copied it from documentation. So if you see over here, again we have replaced the word web view with my camera. So that's what we have done over here, and I have completely removed this because we don't have a prop, and I have rename on script loaded to on image taken. So that's what this code is all about. So again, I'll simply scroll through this. Feel free to pause the video and just copy the code. Okay, then the final file is react my camera package.kt. Again I have copy pasted it from the documentation over here. So again we have replaced web view with my camera. So that's all this particular code is. So hopefully, yeah, you got the point. Then you need to go to this your main application.kt file. Here you need to add your my camera package import, and here you need to add this particular line of code as well. So if you see, they have also done the same thing over here. And finally, how to use it? So you can just go to app.tsx over here. These are all the imports. Feel free to pause the video and copy all these imports. Then here we have one state for image URL and one for camera permission. And here I'm just checking whether the user is using Android device, Android version 10 or higher or not. Here we are requesting for camera and storage permission. If the user is using below Android 10, then we also require this write external storage. Otherwise we only require camera permission. Okay, and here I'm just checking whether permissions has been granted, and depending on the Android version and which permission has been granted, I'm just setting the state as true. Okay, and inside use effect we are calling this particular method, and if image URI is not equal to empty, then we display the image. Else if the camera permission is granted, then we display our live camera preview. Else if that is also not granted, we just display a text saying camera permission not granted. And here are all the styles for it. Okay, so yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.